Welcome to the TCAT 10-minute take. It's been
That's
a
true.
hell of a long time since our last 10-minute take. It's your host, CHERRAE'S Stewart, and with me, as always, is my intrepid co-host, Don the Legend Chambers. And today we are talking about the other
Batman.
man, the myth, the legend,
Yeah, the original.
the Batman. But before we get started, make sure you click the subscribe button and click that bell to get all the 10-minute takes as soon as they drop, because you never know when they're gonna drop. Um, but okay, so as always, I'm gonna let you go first. Go.
Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Jeffrey Wright. So much is went through my mind watching this movie. Um, Starting from, I would watch a couple people's online spoiler-free reviews just to kind of get a feel for what they thought of the movie. And I read a couple of the early reviews that came out, which were also very spoiler-free and nothing. And everybody was just raving about it. So I was like, okay, okay. And especially about the cinematography. So I was like, cool. I went and got IMAX tickets. I was excited. I
Oof.
was ready.
Oof.
Boom. You know? And I will say that when it came on and watching it, I was like, okay, yes, the cinematography in this movie, absolutely on point. But I will say the initial first things that hit me in watching this movie were one of them was I did notice, I was like, wow, this movie is kind of long. Now,
Yeah.
it wasn't in that bad way where I was like, Jesus, I need to get out of here. It was, I guess, maybe in an almost indifferent way because I was enjoying the movie, but I was like, wow, this. I think they probably could have shortened this up a touch. So I didn't notice that. I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but I guess when you sort of notice, you could probably have shaved some scenes somewhere or maybe sped it up a touch. The other thing, and it could just be me, I've read some Batman comics. I'm not the same Batman expert. I know they do a whole bunch of different iterations of Batman, different short runs and all. And this was supposed to be from it's like the Batman year one sort of.
Yeah, it's some of that
And I've read
mixed in
some of
with
that.
some
And I'm
other
like,
stuff. Yeah.
okay, I'm still kind of a Batman fan who sort of wants to understand like how the hot dog is made, so to speak. Like, I'm like, okay, the costume, like, what is it? Is it some type of Kevlar? Is it, the metal bat in the chest? What was the thinking behind that? Why? I mean, I see he could take it out and do some stuff with it. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of multifaceted, but like the helmet, is the cowl, is it, is it bulletproof? I'm going to guess it's bulletproof. I'm sort of understanding the Batmobile, like what kind of car? Why did he choose that? Where did he get that goddamn jet engine on the back of it from? At the tires, like what was the thinking? Why? Like the cave and how it's set up. Like where did he get that pretty high tech ass computer? Like where? I'm thinking, is there a Lucius Fox type of character going to pop in to sort of fill in those gaps to where okay, that's where it's coming? I mean, I wasn't asking for an origin story. I didn't need to go through all that. I just sort of like to know, like, I know we're popping in and he's been doing it for like 2 years, I think, from what I heard in the movie. So he's sort of in full swing. But I don't know. I guess I sort of want to understand, like, okay, how is it? Because if he's in the movie, he sort of has given up on being Bruce Wayne. So how is the money coming in? Like, how is he paying for all this? Who is he paying? How is he, able to hide all the stuff he's doing? I think maybe that's just something for me. I had to sort of push away and push out. Like that just wasn't going to be part of the story. Um, so I will accept that maybe that was just me. From the story that I watched there, I really dug finally kind of really seeing Batman interact with the world. I
Hmm.
mean, he was really in it. Like he really dealt with the police. I mean, he was almost out in full display for the public. Pattinson grew on me. I think he did really good. They gave him some good detective type moments that I enjoyed. And I think the one thing that stood out was like his eyes in the cowl. There's just something about him that I was like, he sort of had that kind of Batman stare down, which I was like, okay, I think he fits it.
Hmm.
For some reason though, as Bruce Wayne, I don't know, in the suit when he was Bruce Wayne the few times, like when he was wearing a suit, the suit didn't seem to fit him. Like it looked bigger. He almost looked skinny.
I think that was intentional
And maybe it was because I'm like, wait, he's in decent shape. Why does he look so small? And
because he
maybe
doesn't
it
know how to
was
be Bruce Wayne.
obviously. Um,
Not yet, anyway. Like how to
True.
use that as another
I thought maybe
tool.
the relationship with him and Alfred. I said, okay, I'm maybe it's a little contentious here. And again, it's me. Maybe I kind of prefer a closer and maybe a bit combative relationship than what was there. Um, I enjoyed the Riddler. I enjoyed the hint of a Joker. I thought Colin Farrell as a Penguin, whoever did makeup, just wow. Yeah. And but really like the look of this movie, the tone, the feel. I thought at the end, that shot where he's like leading people out with the flare, I was like, God, that is a beautiful looking shot. I thought the action scenes were incredible. Like the fights look real. Like, yeah, I could believe that a guy dressed up as a bat, that's what he does. I thought the scene where you were introduced to the Batmobile was me. The sound, when
Hmm.
that high pitched thing came on in the theater, I was like, that this is going to be an amazing scene. And it was. That to me, that made the price of that ticket absolutely well worth it. Look, overall, whatever little quibbles I had with watching is probably what I prefer to see in a Batman movie, but it's not by any means a make it or break it because I get where the story started. I would say, a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a solid 8, and absolutely to see this full price ticket. I'm see it in whatever theater gives you the best sound because that sound with that image, oh, amazing! It's a beautiful looking movie, absolutely beautiful, and I see the progress and the potential in the future um, with this tone and this reality of a Batman. I dug it.
Yeah. Well, since this is our first 10-minute take back, I just let you take the whole 10 minutes.
Oh, you should have told me something.
No, because you were like kind of halfway done and it's like we have a minute and 54 seconds
Okay,
left.
you know what?
But
You get another 10 minutes yourself.
I might take that 10 minutes out of Spider-Man. But that man dug it, go see it. The end. No, I just I do feel like it was very long, but it wasn't. This is Zodiac 4 hours
Mhm.
so long. You know what? That's a lie too, because I really enjoy that movie, even though it's long as hell. Um, like I'm thinking of the Fincher Zodiac. Speaking of the Fincher Zodiac, why I'm thinking about it is because I really, really appreciated that direction of the Riddler, like likening him to the Zodiac killer. Like even so much as his costume was almost a representation of the Zodiac's
Right.
kill suit with the instead of the cross symbol that he had, it was the question mark, and the mask was very similar to the Zodiac mask, and the voice, the ciphers in the paper, like it was all like very much grounded in a really a reality, much more than a lot of other Batman and or superhero movies.
Hmm.
um it felt to me like they'd made a live action episode of Batman the animated series. Like it was just a standalone episode of something that would be a thing that I'd watch all the time. I really did enjoy Robert Pattinson. I liked where he is in the Batman journey, which we don't often see. Yes,
Hmm.
like Wayne Corp is hemorrhaging money because he doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne yet. Like he hasn't figured out how to use that persona as a tool. Like he
Hmm.
still hates it and is still, angry about where he's come from and where he's been left, and not really knowing how to, there's other Batmans who've said like Batman is his face and Bruce Wayne is his mask.
Mask. Right.
He doesn't know how to wear that mask yet as Bruce Wayne, and so he's not very convincing as Bruce Wayne, so we don't get a whole lot of it. And as you said, like none of it fits. Like he doesn't know how to act at parties and events. His clothes don't fit right. Like he's just, he doesn't have like,
Hmm.
the dates that he goes on, and like he just doesn't know how to make that part of his life fit into his new life as Batman. Which he and I really appreciated this being a detective story,
Yeah.
uh which we don't often get a lot of the detective Batman. It's a lot of it we've seen has been the action beat 'em
Hmm.
up superhero Batman. Um, so having just be like a regular boots on the ground investigative Batman is nice. It didn't feel like, I mean, some of those bullets he was taking was a lot, like, but it overall it didn't feel like he was a super mensch person. Like he was a
Yes.
human being in a suit that was a fantastic suit, but still a human person in a suit who
Yeah.
could get potentially hurt or killed. I do like where they went with Selena Kyle. We don't often see in the live action movies that version of her that is Carmine Falcone's daughter. Like we don't see that very much in the movie. I don't think I've ever seen that at all, actually, in the
Yeah.
movies.
Nope.
In the movies, tying her into the criminal underworld, trying to get out, but still possibly being a thief. Like they can have their back and forth
Hmm.
antagonistic relationship, like the Catwoman that we like. Like she's not always on the wrong side of Batman, but frequently is for self-serving reasons. Um, but also sometimes justified. Like I like that gray version of Catwoman. Um I just really liked it. I was the only my only thing about it that I was not on board with was it was so very dark.
True.
Very dark. Visually, not tone. I mean,
Hmm.
tonally it was dark, but that's fine. It's Batman. What do you want? But visually it was almost pitch black at times. This timer is a lie. I had accidentally hit pause, so I probably taken like 5 minutes.
It's
But
okay.
I mean, the timer is a lie. Time is a lie.
Time is a lie. Yeah.
What is time? Visually, this movie was a little too dark and a little too like underexposed and a little bit too out of focus. A lot of times, I liked it when like when there's a guy in the car and he's about to get killed, and it's all out of focus, and but you
Hmm.
see the guy, the shadow in the back, who's gonna like
Hmm.
garrot him or throttle him, but you can't see it because it's all out of focus because you're looking through the windshield and there's rain
Hmm.
and it's beautiful. But it's like, how many of those? I mean, I felt like I was watching a movie with my glasses off. Like, how many of those shots can you have before you're just like,
Yeah.
like, is it me? And then, but at the sound, see, that's one of those things that we talk about sometimes is you can have a movie with a less than stellar picture, but sound
Yeah.
will just put you over the top. Like the sound design, the sound mixing, the sound of this movie was amazing. Um and it was hard to place too, timeline wise. It felt like the 90s. I know it wasn't, but it felt like it a lot of times. Like it
Hmm.
felt like it was set in the 90s. Just
Yeah.
because
I
I
wasn't
don't know what it
exactly
was.
sure either. Yeah.
But then they were using computers and they had like cell phones,
Yeah.
but not everybody used cell phones that much. I did like the bit of maybe accidental casting with they had like the gang on the subway and the kid who was like half in and half out, not sure what he wanted to do.
Hmm.
That kid plays the Tim Drake Robin in the Titans show on HBO Max. And I
There
guess
you
it comes
go.
on the WB too. But I think that might have been perhaps in like a happy accident. Like
Hmm.
he was already cast in this movie when he landed the show. But it felt right to have this kid who could potentially be a Robin
Yeah.
have contact with Batman in exactly this way and have it go down exactly like that. Like it was just a nice like
Hmm.
happy accident. Like a lot of this movie had a lot of just like it just felt like it was super solid. And I would place it in an alternate timeline from the Christopher Nolan Batman between the second and the third one, like somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to justify in my mind like how he's doing all this and how he has all of this, but
Hmm.
he's still not quite there yet, I would put it there, but in like kind of an alternate timeline where everybody looks different or is, a
Gotcha.
different version of themselves. But that's where I would put his progression. Like he's already had, Martha and the pearls and the gunshot and the origin story. He's already had the training and being in prison and learning how to be
Hmm.
the fighting. But now he's back and he's got to retake his company and his life and figure out how to fit all that into being Batman and Bruce Wayne at the same time. Like by the time we get to Christopher Nolan's third Batman, he's kind of figured that all out for the most part. So I feel like this one is somewhere in between those two,
Makes sense.
um, timeline wise. But yeah, I would say I would give this one an opening night. I tried to go opening week, like the second week, it was sold out,
Oh
sold out,
yeah.
sold out. Which
Oh
in
yeah.
a global pandemic, this movie's making gangbusters, and it should be available to view on HBO Max probably at the end of next month. I
Hmm.
think they're giving it a 45-day window from theater to home viewing, so it should be there pretty
Quick.
shortly. Um, so it's 100% worth a watch.
If you were to give
Uh,
it from the 1 to 10, what would you do?
I don't know. I have literally never done that.
But that's why I'm
um,
curious. That's why
well,
I'm
I know because
curious.
it's like what's one and what's 10. It's one is like the room, and 10 is like
Godfather.
the Matrix. Yeah, 10 is
No,
like
Shawshank.
Shawshank. 10 is like
Yes.
Shawshank. Okay.
Shawshank.
Okay.
Yes.
I would put
Yes.
this at like a solid 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah. Solid eight.
7.75 8.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um
I mean,
like if
most importantly,
yeah.
it obviously is worth that opening night ticket,
Oh,
though.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd spend the IMAX money because it's visually like there's some beautiful shots like you said, like with him leading those
Hmm.
people. It felt like rats fleeing a sinking ship. Like it was very evocative, like a lot of the shots and a lot of the stuff, like, but I don't know if it was made for IMAX.
True.
It was small,
It
like
wasn't
not
yeah.
small in a bad way, but
Right.
small and like intimate, not huge and expansive. There weren't flying over these huge vistas that you
Yeah.
need the IMAX experience. It was a
And,
more intimate movie than that.
and I have to be honest, I got the IMAX ticket because it was the available theater with seating.
Mm.
At the
Yeah,
time.
this
So,
was sold out all
sold
over
out.
the
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
like all over the place. It was
Yeah.
a good time. It was a good time.
It was a good time. What else is a good time? Hitting that like button and subscribe for whenever we are posting some more videos, and also to check out our website, tcatnetwork.com, where you also get links to all of our podcast episodes on iTunes, as well as our episodes on YouTube, as well as Good Morning Antioch and the reading. All of our links are there as well. So remember, hit the like button, hit that subscribe, be notified for whenever we post again. And so, until next time, see ya.